Hi, my name's Randy Rolfe, and I'm an independent consultant with the Nikken company, and I've been involved with Nikken for 21 years, and it's been an amazing adventure because it's all about doing what I enjoy, which is helping people be healthy and helping my family stay healthy. And it's also an amazing business, and that's helped my income, and I've helped many other people build their incomes around health. So it's hard to imagine anything better than that, and working with a world-class company that has amazing compensation plan and to die for products, but they actually help you live long and healthy. So I'm going to share a PowerPoint now with you and tell you all about Nikken. Actually, it's not going to be me. I'm inviting my co-host, Hattie Jane Darracott, to share about the business, and then I will come in and share about the products. So Hattie Jane, she's a wonderful lady that I met through Nikken, and a very experienced nurse. She's done all kinds of nursing and had a wonderful ride with Nikken as well. So take it away, Hattie Jane.
Thank you. And what we're doing here today is presenting you with a series of slides that help us stay right on point so that we can share with you what this wonderful business is about that we have found and feel so passionate about, because the product line brings an answer to our health and wellness that is not automatic, and yet it is so natural and so easy to utilize in our everyday life. You'll see a better way to live a life in balance. Because when Mr. Masuda back in 1975 in Fukuoka, Japan, found a way to create a business opportunity in which he could have a product that individuals would find helpful and would use. And they work on a cash basis, their economy. They're not stuck in the heavy charge area and credit cards like we are in the United States. So they found that living in balance was difficult at times because they had to work so hard and keep things together. And so it became a very important part of his business that people, the planet, and the profit are to be linked together, in three, to have a better way to live a life in balance. And on this next slide coming up, you'll see how this is done through an entrepreneurship. You're not hired by the company. You are not investing in the company itself. You're investing in your own health and your own wellness, and in some products to demonstrate so you can share with people and put their hands on and see what those pictures actually feel like. And it becomes a Nikken choice. And on this program today, we have different people who will be speaking, and none of us are directly in line to another. So none of us are going to make money directly off each other, but we're all going to make money because you're going to find out what a great business opportunity it is and what the products are, so that you can have a choice to have a healthier lifestyle. And the 5 pillars were, again, when he started, that he realized there were different parts of our lives. Our body was one major one. He as many of us had, didn't have always a healthy body. He was born just during the war years and shortly thereafter. So he knew a tremendous amount of stress that Japan had gone through for a number of times. And his mind, he was aware of how important it was for the mind to be able to be in balance, to be strong, to be able to go through problems, his family, be healthy, be effective, and that they were safe. The society around them, my goodness gracious, can you imagine living in war-torn Japan or in a militaristic Japan? And we have our own military here, and we have our own ways of doing things too. So society plays an important part and you want to have a say in aspects of it. And without finances, that's really hard to keep all those things in balance as to the strength that you can. So that's why success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal, a life in balance. And it's gone on to show that this next little slide shows how over a series of months, the income, the health, relationships, the happiness, and your success has a trajectory. You either can go up and down, it can go just at one level, or it can go down or up. And it depends on the choices you just make on a regular basis. Just like the fact of whether or not you brush your teeth in the morning or you take a shower regularly, or you keep an eye on how your health is doing, what you're being exposed to, and do choices. And so that's what we want you to be aware of, that you have a choice. The small choices with a consistency plus time can make a radical difference in whichever pillar or aspect of the balance of your life you either want to maintain strong or you want to be better in strength and balance, so the rest of it is running fast. And we have found over the years, the way to explain is the fact of how does finances, what are you talking about? You mean, what is that? Well, I was an employee 90% of my life as a hospital nurse. And the hospital paid my bills, my insurance, and I worked for them by the hours. And by the hours I worked was what I paid. And anything extra I had to do in order to do the work I needed to accomplish was all my own and unpaid. But I knew what the work was. And we're all there. And when it got to be later in life, because I'm now a bit older, it felt like it was in a box because my skills and my talents were not in an area in which I would progress in healthcare. And I didn't want to be a gimpy little old lady going around the beds and on the wards in my later life. So administration wasn't my deal. And self-employed, I checked that out by becoming a massage therapist. And if I wasn't there to put hands on or to teach a class or teach people, well, I didn't have any more money coming in. And I had to invest a fair amount of time and effort to also continue my learning, just as I did in nursing, and be self-employed and create a client base. But it was dependent on me. And as a business owner, now, there are ways you can invest amount of money and buy a business that's already established. Some of our nurses have fantastic wellness centers blending with it, and it's worked great. But again, it winds up depending on the work, and you get people to work with you, but you have to have the investment and you have to have the time to put into it to help it be successful. So you don't have the freedom. Now, as an investor, as you just see in Warren Buffett's picture here, he took a certain amount of money. I think he told a neighbor 10,000, and he would invest it. And it took a lot of his time to examine where they were going to put his money. And so he didn't have to actually put physical hands-on work. It didn't depend on him for the work to continue. It just depended on his smarts to make sure the money went in where it could work for him. But that requires, I think I had 30,000 at one time in stock, and for that I got about around $100 a month. Now that's a big investment, and that, I'm sorry, my lifestyle needs a bit higher income. So what we have found in the business world is we look at different businesses now. They call it a gig economy, because they have found a way for people to, with increased mobility, with younger people who understand how to use our technical expertises that we now have available with, like this little tablet I'm working off, and cell phones, and it allows us such great mobility. and we have a better chance um, to have a work in which we can go in based on what the time and efforts that we have to put into the time, and make more of a balance. But it still comes a bit with problematic. The next two slides show you specific businesses that have literally turned our world on the side and around the corner compared to when my parents were looking for work and creating my family. GM and Uber shows you how one very, very established business continues to stay healthy and grow slightly. And the other with a brand new one that doesn't have all the factory, doesn't have all the investment in the actual hardware as GM has to have, but it gives jobs to so many people that it went from 60 million to 68 billion in 5 years because people bought into it and joined them. And that's why it's called a gig. And gig came out of the musician territory. And look at Amazon and Walmart. Walmart is your store and your hardware, and it's in one place, and you drive and you go into it and you look around and see what all it is. They have to get all the products in there, and they have to buy it at the right price so they can sell it at the right price. You want to come spend time with them. And they have to pay for the store and the taxes, whatever. And Amazon, who you don't have to go see it. You can pull it up on these wonderful technical realities and order right from home, and they ship it right to you. And you can see the numbers on that one, how marked it is. So when Nikken came along, is the next slide will show you how it progresses its work. As I said, they were a cash cow economy, and they sold person to person. And they went throughout Asia, and Japan became the fastest growing company, largest success in 10 years of any companies, and still holds the record after 43 years of ongoing, consistent, top grade business practices. And so therefore, they found from the very first that it integrates into your life, which is what those 5 pillars are about. And the low cost of entry is only $99. Don't forget your taxes. So basically, that gives you the right to be a marketer of your products. And then you, as a turnkey entrepreneur, we have individuals such as myself in a small way, and Randy, who's on here, who is a fantastic mentor and grower. And we all help each other to learn what is good and to understand if something changes, why it's a good change, because the company is really looking after being a healthy, effective product line. And therefore the leadership development plans, we have come up and talked to each other, and this is where the slides come out. Because we find people like me just kind of rattle on and get lost and can't keep it straight. And with this way, you can look at it, what we are, you can follow the same thing, and you have a chance so that you know where you want to go and how to do, and you can teach the individual who wants to learn the same thing. And so you're reproducible. And that's what we talk about, leverage and compounding. Remember that thing about a penny a day as opposed to a 10% investment? Penny a day, you compound it, and it turns out to a couple of million compared to the investment. And the leverage is where Randy is helping me, and I'm leveraging her by presenting these slides, which came from another group, to utilize the economy we have and turn these things purpose into profits, to find support customers as customers. So share an active wellness to prosper. A proven process for creating change. Join Nikken. We're talking now, this presentation is a business presentation. We'll talk to you a bit about the products at the end, but it's the fact these products all work. So you join, you take the commitment, you check it out, you check out the products for yourself on your body or on your family's body, you find out how things change, and you share and you promote Nikken. And you promote the fact of a wellness lifestyle, that by integrating Nikken's products into your ongoing life, you find your health has a natural change toward wellness, and you feel how healthy you can be. So the first initial startup, and then the monthly support, and then you have upgrades who come in and they have some wonderful products, but occasionally they're technical developing people and research people, because they are a research and development company, upgrades, and we get even a better product. And then the additional users come in. Well, I have my home, I sleep in my bed, I have my sleep system, but I have some other beds, and I have some other people to sleep in my home. And so little by little, I've added to it, and depending on your personal involvement, how rapidly that happens and how rapidly you spread that. So in the interventions, when I started out, we had a product that went into my shoes and a product that I slept on at night. And those were the two product areas. Now we go much further and have a complete home. So it's a purpose-driven model. We're leveraging, compounding, and teaching, and the collaborative entrepreneur like we're doing. And you reach out, and we're looking for more and more customers. And as they found us, the referrals from them, and help their friends feel better, and just continue going and going, and enjoying the fact that it's happening, and enjoying what's happening to people. It's fantastic. So the support system is built to sustain growth, because when you come in, you make the profit, you receive the profit on your product from wholesale to retail. That's your profit. But then you can gain even more profit by working the system. And we've got the steps, and we show you how. So you can't tell how many seeds are in the apple. No, you can figure out there's 2, 4, 6, 8 usually in an apple. But how many trees are grown out of one seed? How fruitful is that tree, or that blend on that tree, out of that one seed? We don't know. I don't know. But I am looking forward to growing and continuing to growing and regrowing my orchard, so that I continue to prosper and increase my reach to people, and increase the effect on the planet. Because as you start to improve your health, you start to notice the changes that the technologies bring. You start to look at what's going on in our environment and in our economic, I want to use the word and it won't come out of my mouth. It's the one that we talk about how we're living on the planet, and what our soil is like, what our air is like, what the global warming, that area. We really start to notice, because we can, and that affects us all over. And doing this, remember now, this is we're talking about business, and you got the profit. You sell, and you get you get something back from the company for doing it. They ship everything. They do the research. They take all the information. They follow up on all that. You don't have to do that, and then they cut your check. So you have your profit, but they have cash bonuses if you get a number of folks, and lifestyles and incentive trips, like the folks that just got back from a 10-day all-paid trip to Italy. And the personal rebates, as you grow in your strength and having your teams, and having your teams have teams and teams, then you get even more cash flow in your checks, because you're helping others learn how to market, being effective in marketing, being there as a resource, being there as a support for those people who join you in this exciting trip. So the active wellness speaks to the Nikken Wellness Home. Home, that's where you eat, sleep, have your family, do you live where you study, wherever home is what we're focusing, because that's our environment, that our personal health is so very strong.
Well, thank you, Hattie Jean. Appreciate that. Wonderful presentation about the business side of Nikken. And I'm going to go through the products quickly, and we try to stay to 30 minutes, but we might go a bit over today because we have some special people here. The health environment that Nikken came into back in the 70s in Japan, it's gotten harder to stay healthy all around the world, and particularly here in North America. We have more refined foods, we have more stress, we have more chemicals in our environment, and stress is a huge killer. It's involved in everything that cuts our lives short and our moods, and we're taking more medications for our mood problems, and it just goes on in a vicious circle. And people aren't sleeping well because of the toxins and the stress and the medications and whatever else. Just staying awake, not having a good sleep environment, a good sleep surface. And air and water is in the news every day. We know we have pollution that's affecting everybody, particularly our children. And we now know this is the first generation whose life expectancy is not as high as our own was, which is frightening. And obesity is a big cause of that, poor nutrition, poverty. 35 to 40% of our kids are living in poor situation where they can't get what they need. And of course, they're less active if they're carrying a lot of extra weight and not getting the energy they need from their food and their lifestyle. So what is the answer? It's about self-care. We must take responsibility for ourselves and our families and be healthy by choice, not by chance. If you leave it to chance, it's not looking good. So we're focusing on active wellness, where we take an active part in our own health. And we have the certified Nikken Wellness Home, and Nikken's had that concept for almost 15 years or so, and it's like a greenhouse for people where our environment is controlled in our home. And so we have a good place to sleep, we have good nutrition, we have good air, we have good water, and so when we come home we get restored and renewed. It's a phenomenal concept which no one else in the world is addressing but Nikken. And Nikken does all the research, and we just enjoy the benefits and share them with others. So these are the categories we have: great nutrition, daily energy products, wonderful water system, and amazing sleep system, which is on most screens is probably hidden by all us people, but I'll show you more. This is our nutritionals. In the center are our food-based functional foods, a meal replacement powder, jade greenzymes from nature, young barley, organic grass, and our fruit drink. And then other supplements that are all designed to be in balance, to work with the body, not to manipulate it or overdose anything. It's all high grade of quality, and what's on the label on the outside is in every capsule or tablet. So it's a phenomenal line, and it's even made easy to use because it tells you what part of the body you're actually trying to support with each thing. And then we have 3 major product packs that are actually 10% off the normal retail price if you get them as a package. So it's a great way to build your wellness home and start wherever you want. And of course, everything's available individually, but these components give you the best chance to get the fastest results. And the Nature Rest sleep system includes a pad, a pillow, and a comforter. We have videos about why it is so special. There's nothing else like it. I've slept on Nikken sleep systems for over 21 years, and I'm 71, and I feel like I'm 29. So that's the way to go. And the PyMag water system does everything that nature does. It takes your tap water and turns it into like water coming out of a mountain spring, magnetized, alkalized, mineralized. It's absolutely amazing. And then on the right side of the screen are all the smaller products that we use during the day. Or at night, we can use it too. We have actually a sleep mask that gives you the darkness and the relaxation for the eyes, so you sleep deeper, just like on the Nature Rest sleep system. We have the insoles that Hattie Jane described. The pad you see in the picture is a grounding pad. You just put it into the grounding outlet on your wall and just touch it, and your body gets all the beneficial negative charges that you would get if you were walking barefoot on the ground. And then all these magnetic products give you the kind of magnetic energy you get from walking outside. So, you know, they know that gardening with your hands on the ground in the plants is very, very healthy. And this way you can get it indoors, even if you spend all day in an office. With the insoles in your shoes, the necklaces like I'm wearing, if there's a special area that's tends to be more stressed or is hurting, feeling, excruciating agony, as we say, you can use one of the massage tools, the Kenko Touch or the roller that are state-of-the-art, impulsing to add the good magnetism that the earth gives to all living creatures, except we spend most of our time indoors, so we're missing that. And it helps the whole body stay in balance, from the molecular to the cellular to the mind and body levels. Quite amazing. So if you're looking at some of these prices here, about every 5 years, Nikken increases the prices by about 3%. So these aren't exactly right, but if you add 3%, they're accurate. So this is a way to get a total wellness home and add your monthly nutritionals and skincare, and you're on the way to better, healthier life. And it's easy to share these products because once you start using them, you have a story. I didn't think I'd have a story. I was as healthy as I thought I could get. I've been teaching nutrition for 40 years, but I'd had a terrible back accident. And when I slept on the sleep system and wore the back wrap during the day, I had no residual discomfort anymore from that terrible lower back accident. And so the stories go on. So we invite you to become a customer, use the products, and when you end up sharing them, Nikken will send you commission checks, and you can make a business out of it and become a full-time entrepreneur and fire your boss if you want after a few years of aggressively sharing the products with other people. So let's begin your success story, and I'm going to stop the share now and invite our guest, Dee Walsh, to share her story. Dee is also a nurse. You know, we have a lot of nurses that join Nikken because they became nurses to help people feel better, and Nikken is probably the most up-to-date way to do that. So Dee, if you take a few minutes to share why you're in Nikken. And I do want to mention Barbara Bertucci here. She's one of our great leaders in Nikken, and she will be participating on other shows, but she joined us a little late today, so we kind of didn't give her a part, but she'll be here many weeks to share her wonderful experience and stories of the business as well as the products. So Dee, please share your story with us.
Sure. Thank you, Randy and everyone. I was introduced to Nikken, it'll be 11 years in September, by a friend who cared enough to ask if I was open to exploring what she had found. And she was brand new, but she said she wanted to tell me about it because I was always tired. And I was working 60 hours a week, most weeks, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. And I hadn't slept well for 15 or 20 years. And what she really, was not aware of was that I had residual upper back, mid back, low back discomfort, sometimes fairly severe. and spasms and numbness down to my knee and that type thing from an old car accident. When I was in my mid-30s, at that time, I was pregnant with my last baby. I didn't even know it. It was so early in the pregnancy, but I ended up being in traction in the hospital for 3 months, and another couple weeks of inpatient physical therapy. And then it was a year before I could drive, before I could walk without any assistive device, all of that kind of thing. The baby was born while I was still on crutches. And so it was just an interesting time for our family. My other little kids were doing all these household chores and stuff because I couldn't do much. So, but as time moved on and I healed from that and was actively working on the road a lot, would come home from 2-3 hours of paperwork with my job at the time, and then not sleeping. I was, like I said, always tired. So I was open because I felt an urgency to feel better. I needed to keep working. I have family, friends, activities that I want to be part of. And I just found myself pulling back from things because I was too exhausted. So I wanted to feel better, and I was open to trying things. So I pretty much got almost everything right away. The sleep system didn't come for a couple of weeks. And so I was well hydrated and all with our water and using the other products. But first night on the sleep system, I fell asleep right away, and I woke up, slept all night, woke up before the alarm went off. That hadn't happened to me in years. And I thought, oh my God, this is what a good night's sleep feels like. So that was like, oh, just so thrilling, really. And we know how we feel if we have a good night's sleep, and we know how we feel when we don't. And we know what it's like when we see that happening in little children as well. So, our focus, our energy, our mood, our disposition, our interactions change when we're feeling good. And so I also had bone density issues when I started taking the bone health products. That got to the normal range. I've been in the normal range ever since. I had no intention of doing it as a business, but when I realized there were tax benefits, I could help people in ways that were safe, effective, economical, without the side effects of a lot of the things I saw when I was active in our Western medical model, which is wonderful for emergency medicine and trauma. We can't be beat. But for other chronic situations, or just even the stress that people are under now that relates to so many of our other conditions, if we can help ourselves and others in a safe way, why not start there? And to me, it's economical to prevent things and to get healthy in a normal, natural way. It's very expensive to be sick and not be able to function with when we go to that path of chronic conditions that are so prevalent in our society now, a lot having to do with our environment and the lifestyle choices we make as well. And so it's not just expensive to be ill financially, but it is from a time standpoint, from our quality of life standpoint. And I know we all here and our other colleagues who know about this and utilize it, we want to live a vital, healthy life for as long as possible, and to take part in life. There's too many good things not to have the energy and the ability to participate. So I love the 5 pillars of health that Hattie Jane talked about. To me, it's all about balance. You know, the old nursing school, we were taught body, mind, spirit. And so Nikken fit right into that holistic way of looking at life and health and relationships with each other and with our society and with our world. So I'm very grateful I was introduced, and I will never stop using these wonderful gifts, nor will I stop sharing them, because I want others to benefit as well if they're open. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Dee. That was so well said. And so we'll close now. And thank you, Hattie Jean and Dee and Barbara. And I just want to say that Dee put it so well. And you're blessed and lucky to have heard about Nikken. Most people don't even know that this amazing opportunity exists to get healthier and wealthier in the most spiritually and socially rewarding way. Just having people hug. I used to be a lawyer. I didn't get any hugs even when I won a case. So it's really a wonderful way to live. So thank you for joining us, and get back with the people who invited you to this webinar and start absorbing. There's so many wonderful videos all week, and get the products, because when you feel the products, you know you're reconnecting with nature and with the source of good energy and good feelings and true health. So thanks for joining us.